Peter Quill. Peter Quill, wake up.
Holy crap, Drax. You gotta stop doing this, man. It's weird.
Marvel Comics have been around for decades, but it feels like ever since the MCU debuted in 2008, they have us all in the palm of their hand. The 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy film introduced the dysfunctional team to a whole new generation of fans, and their popularity has skyrocketed ever since with various sequels, video games, toys, and even theme park rides. Now it's up to Eidos Montreal to offer their own take on the Ragtag Crew.
Oh, the wonderful and terrible things I could do with all this tech.
Stay focused, Rodent. We did not come here to scavenge.
Why not? The Milano's weapon systems could use an overhaul. Plus, there's good money in it.
While it shares commonalities with previous source material, this iteration of the Guardians is an original story set in its own universe. 12 years after the Galactic War, the universe is still dealing with the devastating fallout. At this point, the Guardians have been a team for a little while, and they're looking to make some much-needed cash by taking a job from Lady Hellbender. What follows is a space adventure filled with drama, laughs, and poignant moments of familial bonds.
That's just it, we're not pirates. We're legally incorporated heroes for hire.
Of the 5 Guardians, you only control Peter Quill, also known as Star-Lord, but can give commands to the rest of the team in and out of combat. Groot specializes in disrupting groups of enemies by holding them in place or launching them into the air. Drax is essential for staggering tougher enemies, while Gamora deals heavy damage. Lastly, Rocket can throw a variety of grenades that obliterate groups of weaker enemies, or even pull them together to set up combos. As Peter, you can run and fly around the battlefield in an advantageous position, bombarding enemies with twin blasters and earning bonus damage if you nail an active reload. The action can get pretty chaotic, highlighted by effective banter from the team that adds a sense of urgency or humor to each scuffle. It's incredibly satisfying when all of the Guardian strengths complement one another, toppling enemy forces like dominoes.
Stay away from its sharp edges!
You earn XP from each battle based on how well you perform, and for every 1000 XP, you get an ability point. Each character has 4 abilities to unlock that expand their arsenal in semi-useful ways. The XP gains feel mostly linear, as the difference between poor and great performance is hardly noticeable. Additionally, each Guardian can only use one ability before a cooldown allows them to use another. The starting moveset for the team is so powerful that many fights can be conquered with the same tactics, making combat less impactful the longer the adventure goes on. Eidos smartly adds new obstacles and variables to later encounters, but a slight adjustment is usually all that's needed before falling back into familiar rhythms.
Why would this thing even exist?
On normal difficulty, you're rarely in any danger, but if things look dire, you can give the team a pep talk when the huddle meter is full. Depending on what they say, you can attempt to inspire them by choosing the appropriate dialogue. A success buffs the entire team's damage, while a failure just buffs Star-Lord. It's a fun novelty, but adamantly grows redundant, especially when you've heard the same 80 songs numerous times.
It's fucking scary out there, Quill.
Exploration plays a key role, whether you're just hanging out on your ship, the Milano, or investigating hostile planets. On the ship, you can talk to your teammates and learn tons of optional backstory. The voice cast deserves special praise as their performances are utterly brilliant. You may find yourself more intimately attached to this set of Guardians than their counterparts in other media. Part of that is thanks to dialogue choices that allow you to shape the narrative in multiple ways, as well as a stellar supporting cast.
What the flark is that?
Definitely not a monster.
The core storyline follows a set path, but you have a fair amount of freedom in how you handle situations and respond to the team. Events play out with minor deviations, but it's more than enough to make you feel like you're having a direct impact on the journey. These choices integrate seamlessly and periodically throughout the narrative, adding an extra level of responsibility as your decisions help or hurt others.
I ever mentioned how much I hate rain?
Exploring planets is simple but effective. There are plenty of opportunities to check out optional passageways that usually reward you with lore, different outfits, or components to upgrade Quill with a variety of perks. The different outfits are awesome, but finding hidden items while out on missions can even reward you with critical insight into each Guardian that feels essential, making it worthwhile to go off the beaten path. At certain points, different characters can use their strengths to clear different ways ahead, with Drax moving heavy objects to reach inaccessible areas, or Gamora slicing through barriers to progress.
Groot, I found a hitch. Can you latch onto it?
Visually, Guardians of the Galaxy is fun to look at. Colorful worlds and detailed character models look even better in quality mode, but the frame rate takes a major hit. Performance mode targets 60 frames per second and does an admirable job of maintaining it with only occasional stutters here and there. There are, however, a small number of bugs that poke at the seams. Some of these issues, including audio mixing, graphical glitches, progression getting stuck, and botched cutscenes, are supposed to be fixed with a day one patch, but it was still in the works during the review period.
I can be quite forceful.
Peter Quill. I believe she is flirting with me.
Even if you're fatigued by the endless amount of Marvel content, Guardians of the Galaxy shows a lot of heart and soul. The cast delivers unforgettable performances that are further highlighted by meaningful exploration and impactful narrative decisions. The adventure loses a bit of steam the longer it goes due to overly familiar combat, but the team's banter keeps things entertaining. Eidos Montreal has delivered a memorable and intimate take on the team of misfits that truly stands on its own.
Groot, a Flora Colossus, last of his kind, fearless in a firefight, an awesome best friend. Rocket, bona fide super genius and a wizard with explosives. Definitely not a raccoon. Gamora, adopted daughter of Thanos, deadliest woman in the galaxy. Need we say more? Drax the Destroyer, convicted serial murderer and galactic war hero, often grumpy. Last and definitely least, Peter Jason Quill.
That's it? That's all you wrote?
It was a character limitation.
Final score, 8 out of 10. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.